with the NDC is not in a hurry to apportion beliefs. It's one of the reasons why we talk about reset. Reset basically means that you take the problem heads on and deal with it. We are not in the business of trying to blame the past regime. But when it's obvious that there's a hypocrisy that is being churned out, then we just have to point it out. So far.
Very well, very well. It's Founders Day. It's a celebration. The reason why today is a holiday, but it's premised on the birthday of Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Have we done well in keeping the legacy of this man? Have we held on to the vision of this man, or have we given up and thrown everything he's done away? The MP for Elembele and the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources says Nkrumah's vision must guide Ghana's future. So far, Nkrumah would have been, what, 116 today? Yeah, I think. So far, have we walked the talk when it comes to Nkrumah's developmental drive? Doc, I'll start with you.
Nana, very good morning to you, and very good morning to the Lali and to the viewing public. I have a little concern around how we conceptualize the thoughts of a Founders Day. The reason is that Ghana pre-existed, obviously, Gold Coast before Dr. Kwame Nkrumah.
Right.
I would have ordinarily thought that it would have been good to either decide as a nation that we are celebrating the first president of Ghana.
And not the founder.
And not the founder. Because we don't have a founder. I mean, in the truest sense of it. Because we are aware that there was a struggle for independence. And it took people from the east, the west, the south, and the north to come together for us to be able to have the independence that we have. And also, when you have an independence, you go through an election, which was the election of 1957. And CPP won that election. And so Dr. Kwame Nkrumah became the first president after independence. And so I would have wished that going forward, we rethink the day and rename it to be the president, the first president of Ghana's Day celebration, rather than a Founders Day.
Quite a mouthful.
But also to state that Dr. Kwame Nkrumah's dream is not just a dream that everyone must follow. I believe that the blueprint of Ghana had clearly been laid out. If you look at some of the historical antecedents, you can clearly see that the blueprints of Ghana has been followed. It is very difficult for me to say that successive governments from 1957 till date are living out the dream of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Because I feel that the Ghanaism that we all have should be what must drive our development and not necessarily the ideals and ethos of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah as an individual. If you follow my conversation.
I do.
And so in that regard, we need to be able to appreciate ourselves for the journeys that we have had. We've gone through a first republic, which was in 1961, and then gone through a second republic, went through a military regime. We've had our struggles, went through a third republic, and now we are in a fourth republic. We must weigh the successes of each republic in the midst of the global politics and pat ourselves at the back that Ghana has been able to survive over the years. And our survival has clearly been premised on the foundations that has been laid by the colonial fathers and the people that fought for our independence. We are glad that over the years, this democracy has been extremely stable. However, there are some antecedents that we have not been able to deal with as a people. And I call those antecedents the soft spots of power, where people are not able to deal head on with corruption. Because you hear the conversations around corruption being an age-old issue. But corruption cannot continue to be an age-old issue in 2025 when you clearly see that it hinders and retards growth. We have also seen how we have been blessed with a lot of minerals resources. The reason why Ghana was called, or is called, the Gold Coast was clearly because when the colonial masters came, gold was everywhere, and gold is still everywhere. How well have we managed these resources that God has indebtedly blessed us with? We also have lithium in this country. We have uranium and a lot of minerals that you can be able to find and appreciate that. I would want to see a country post-1957 that we are using and harnessing all the pillars of society to cause change and to cause growth. So I'm glad that we are celebrating a day that marks the birthday of the first president of the Republic of Ghana. But I throw out the intellectual arguments that we should rethink the name of Founders Day, because I don't think that we can credit the founding of Ghana to either an individual or even to either 6 people, but it was a collective battle of everyone. And so rather we should say that we are marking the birthday of the first president. And the first president's ideologies might be entirely different from every other successive presidents that will come, who would be able to churn out the development in the manner in which their own political dispensation puts them. And I'm certain that if we're able to rethink that, we would have the Ghana that we all deserve and desire.
Your party in power made some changes in that regard, that is you.
Yes, my party was looking at the apostrophes. So either the apostrophe before the S or the apostrophe after the S, which is why our political party looked at Founders Day. And so they collectively emboldened the 6 people that led the independence struggle, which is why there are various schools of thoughts. People would even bring out thoughts about the fact that there were some women as well that helped with the struggle of independence. But clearly, we have been able to identify a few people that we feel that they are the founders. But I still rethink about it, that we need to be able to relook at it, that these are not just the founders of Ghana, but these are people that fought for the independence of Ghana through the process of that, because Ghana pre-existed all of them. And it's a bit difficult for me to sit here with a lot of the things that I'm learning to equate the founding of Ghana as we know it, okay, to an individual or to a group of 6 people. But I would say that's why I said it was a struggle of everyone, from the east, from the west, from the north, from the south. It was the voices of the people that led these 6 people to be able to lead the independence struggle, and this is where we are.
Very well. Delali, let me pick your thoughts on this. First, on Palgrave's submission regarding if like extending the credits of the establishment of Ghana beyond the 6, and then of course we'll deal with Nkrumah's vision for the growth and development of Ghana.
Yeah, good morning and good morning to your cherished viewers. I believe that over the years there have been several attempts to arbitrate the role Dr. Kwame Nkrumah played as far as Ghana's independence is concerned, especially coming from the UP tradition. Several articles were written, several commentaries were made. I've heard instances, someone like Professor Michael Kwe have tried everything possible to undermine or downplay the role Dr. Kwame Nkrumah played as far as Ghana independence is concerned. But I always say that just to settle the score, there's a letter that was written by J.B. Dankwa. I believe one of the reasons why the NPP continued to make the argument that Nkrumah should not be made the founder of this country is because of the J.B. Dankwa argument that they continue to advance. And this letter was written by Dr. J.B. Dankwa, October 10, 1951. It was addressed to J.A. Obdam, Esquire, in London. And this is the title, Nkrumah and Tricks. I read an excerpt of the letter for you to appreciate whether indeed Dr. J.B. Dankwa was really in for Ghana attainments of an independence. Let me read. In quotes, that man Kwame Nkrumah, who is the leader of government business, has started his tricks again. This time, he who is the government is inviting all the political leaders and chiefs to join him to send an ultimatum to His Majesty, Government of the United Kingdom, for self-government now, and if rejected, to declare positive action strike and boycott. That's what he said. And there's also an aspect of the letter that says this. there has been hectic activity all over the place. And on Sunday, we of UGCC met at a great meeting and turned down his challenge flat, unquote. This is a letter written by Dr. J.B. Dankwa to J.A. Updown in his opposition to Ghana attainment of independence that was led by Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. So, for anybody to make the argument that indeed J.B. Dankwa played an instrumental role when it comes to Ghana attainment of independence, this particular document, letter written by Dr. J.B. Dankwa, in itself, make mockery of that particular assertion. You see, I'll continue to talk about the fact that Dr. Kwame Nkrumah is not only a founder of Ghana, even within the sub-region, globally. He's a man who was touted as African Man of the Millennium. And not on the basis of his profound statement, basis on the visible and verifiable achievement of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Achievement that within our grown generation yet to be born. They are so visible. That is why even back in school, there are questions that they pose to us. What are the achievements of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah? And you have to learn it to be able to, outline the visible and verifiable achievements of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. I have had the opportunity to read a book authored by Dr. Kwame Nkrumah himself called The Dark Days in Ghana. Take your time, read through that book. You appreciate how the UP tradition were opposed to the independence of Ghana. You appreciate...
Were they opposed to the independence of Ghana or the formats being used by Dr. Kwame Nkrumah to gain the independence?
What was the format? What was the format?
Self-governance now.
Self-governance now, exactly. And were they not in opposition to that? Was it the very self-governance that they were opposed to? Was it not what gave birth to Ghana? Why should the MPP want to approve it and reprove it? It's just like saying that I am not so much enthused about pork meat, but I'm excited about pork soup. That is duplicity. That is inconsistency. But I'm saying that over the years, anytime the MPP have had the opportunity to rule this country, you realize that there's a deliberate attempt to arbitrate, to undermine the achievements and the role of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. And you see, I think by now the MPP as a political party, where they are tradition, must come to appreciate the fact that nobody can arbitrate the name of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah as the founder of this country of ours. Because, you see, over the years, when you hear most of the stalwarts within the MPP, when they make comments, when they make statements relative to Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, at a point they create an impression to people that he was a dictator. They create an impression to people that this was a man who didn't believe in democracy. But the fact of the matter, we have also read about a story where several attempts were made on the lives of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. We have read several, articles, where there was a deliberate orchestration, right, to kill Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. And obviously, any leader, any president, any leader of a country, where it's obvious that your opponents were making everything possible to eliminate you, there are certain measures you put in place to address that. And I'm saying that if for nothing at all, I know how many times driving to the Volta region I've used the Temamoto way. These are the solid achievements of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. We can make numerous references with projects, right, of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah that has outlived the man Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. So you see, these arguments about, people should be included as far as the Founders Day, we should not make it apostrophe S, we should make it Founders Day and whatever, it's neither here nor there. Let's accept the fact that this is a man, who stands tall. This is a man who's been celebrated not only in Ghana, beyond Africa. A man, he was touted as the African Man of the Millennium, voted as African Man of the Millennium. People even continue to talk about the fact that if Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, right, was not overthrown, Ghana probably, or even the entire African sub-region, will become one of the force to reckon with. So it's not in the MPP, it doesn't lie in the MPP's mouth to try to twist history. I understand, there's absolutely nothing wrong with the MPP to speak highly of Dr. J.B. Dankwa. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I mean, as a member of the NDC, there's absolutely nothing wrong for me to sit down here and tout the attributes of His Excellency, the late former President Jerry John Moore, because he's the founder of the NDC, the National Democratic Congress. So it's obviously within the NPP right to continue to tout the credentials of Dr. J.B. Dankwa. But what I'm saying is this. Per what I've read to you, relative to a letter that was authored by Dr. J.B. Dankwa to frustrate Ghana's road to become an independent state in itself, make mockery of the argument that Dr. J.B. Dankwa played an important role as far as Ghana as a Ghana attainment of independence is concerned.
Yeah.
Dr. Kwame Nkrumah is widely celebrated. He's a man. See, even when he leaves the African sub-region, when he goes to any of the country, the Western world, anytime you talk about Ghana, the name that resonates with them is Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, and he's a man that stands tall. He's a man whose evidential records, it's there for everybody to see. Listen, even kids that will be born 20 years to come, I can tell you, there are things that they can reference, and these are the solid record and achievement of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. So that argument itself is fall flat, and I thank His Excellency President Roll and President Mahama to have once again given meaning, impactful meaning, to the role Dr. Kwame Nkrumah played as far as the attainment of independence is concerned.
Let's look at his vision guiding this country's future.
You see, for instance, look at what Dr. Kwame Nkrumah was basically doing. He embarked on what they call industrialization.
True.
Look at the numerous companies, state-owned companies that
factories,
he established. Look at how he was so instrumental when it comes to certain monumental achievements. Talk about the universities. Yeah. Talk about Tema Mutuga. Talk about hospital. Talk about even some of the Akosombo dams and what have you done. Yeah. That is the vision of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Even at a point in time, you see, he's somebody who even won election in regions that he was not even coming from. Because he created a certain impression to the Ghanaian people. Not only an impression, but he was walking the talk. He was telling the people that I'm a leader who believes in unity. I'm a leader who doesn't care which part of the country you are coming from. I'm a leader who believes that, listen, a time will come. Ghana population of 6 million. We're dependent on Akosombo Dam. Is that not it?
Yeah.
So at a point in time, we're basically even supplying what we call power to other neighboring countries.
True.
But at that point in time, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah foresaw that this is a country that will outgrow in terms of population. So there are certain things that he started putting in place. But at a point in time, people felt that the way and manner he was going, he became more or less like a threat to people who were more like anti-Ghanaian. So Kwame Nkrumah industrialization, what we call policy, would have helped us. That is all of when the NPP came to power. We're not talking about one district, one country. Because they want an instances where the country will be industrialized when it comes to state-owned, what they call a company. That was the vision of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. And a lot of people continue to make the argument that maybe we have to go back and study the blueprints of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah relative to the vision that he had for this country. Because we are able to implement that vision, I think Ghana will be better off. And look at the way he was basically, he didn't think about the fact that, oh, this is where I come from. I come from Western region for that matter. Let me divert all developmental program to the Western way. He wasn't like that. Yeah. He think that he's a Ghanaian. He think that, listen, I'm first and foremost a Ghanaian before my ethnic group, before the region that I come from. That is the vision of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. And I think, and his vision about Africa unity. Today, are we not talking about Africa uniting? Are we not talking about eradicating what we call it economic, what they call roadblocks and what have you, trade barriers and what have you? That was the vision. So this was something that was bet by Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. But unfortunately, it didn't materialize before he was overthrown. But today, we see the relevance and the reasoning in that particular vision. And it's incumbent on us, as this current dispensation, to embrace that vision, right, of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, even within the entire sub-region. So that at the end of the day, Africa will be able to realize its full potential. In dealing with that, we must go back, tap into the vision of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, replicate it in Ghana, and make sure that this same thing is being embraced within the sub-region. And trust me, Africa will become a reckon with.
Doc, we cannot throw away the gains made post-Nkrumah, but would you not agree that if the industrialization drive of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah had not been cut off at a point, Ghana would have been better off?
You know, Nana, we all love Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. And, you know, when the Lali was speaking, I try very much, really, not to bring in Dr. J.B. Dankwa, because I'm a direct descendant of Dr. J.B. Dankwa. And the evidence is out there of the role that Dr. J.B. Dankwa played in the 1948 route into the independence struggle. The evidence is out there. I mean, my goal this morning is not to raise an argument between Dr. J.B. Dankwa and Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. I mean, that's not the role. But I think opportunity to enlighten people and set some records straight. Now, we all love Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. He was such an excellent gentleman. He was the first president of Ghana. And he picked up leadership from the colonial masters. The colonial masters had already placed the blueprint. And majority of what was left was an implementation plan.
Right.
If you recall, between 1957 to 1960, before Dr. Kwame Nkrumah became the president, because he was prime minister, Ghana was under the leadership of Queen Elizabeth within those 3 years. So there was a blueprint of what was going to be done. It so happened that Dr. Kwame Nkrumah was the leader of government. And so majority of the credit goes to him. Every leader has a vision for the country. Dr. Kwame Nkrumah had his vision for Ghana. J. Buzia had his vision for Ghana. Hila Lehman had his vision for Ghana. Kotoka, Efrifa had their vision for Ghana. Champong, Kwame, Jerry John Rawlings, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, Kufuor. Every leader, Mills, every leader has their vision for Ghana. But that's why I don't want to dwell on one particular leader's vision for Ghana and situate it in the context that all of us must follow that particular leader's vision for Ghana. Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, and I'm coming, let me just build a point. Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has finished with his tenure as presidency. His vision for Ghana, for which the Ghanaians gave him an opportunity, he's established that. If he has any other vision for Ghana, he will pass it on to any other person who he believes will be able to lead Ghana from the New Patriotic Party. Likewise. And so the conversation this morning is that, yes, industrialization is key for every country. And regardless of who has that vision, it's key for the sustainability of an economy all across the world. And I mean, Ghana has been a dependent-driven country since 1957. How do we move away from that? And so every government that has come has sought to see to the fact that Ghana moves away from that dependency syndrome of always importing things so that the country does not become an import-driven country, but rather an export-driven country. And I mean, COVID-19 taught us a lot of things, that we live in the global village, for which reason all of us must try and ensure that our natural resources and whatever we have is exported so we can get income. If we import things into the country, we lose at the end. And everybody who has risen up to be leader of the country should know this. In same light, you are very much aware that there's been conversations around the continent pre-independence about the unification of Africa.
True.
And that has been what majority of the leaders at the time were thinking about, the dream for Africa. And it is because of that today Ghanaians have been able to fight for the headquarters of AFTA to be here. I'm glad that it did happen in the government of President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Would that be a fulfillment of one particular person's dream? No. It's the fulfillment of the collective dream of the African continent. And the African continent felt that Ghana is the safe haven to be the place to have this AFTA headquartered. So we need to be able to look at the entire architecture of Ghana. In looking at the entire architecture of Ghana, then we can be able to say that these areas need particular attention. That as a people, we need to pay particular attention to that. And I look at governance in the holistic scheme of it. Governance is who has the authority, who has the power, and who is accountable.
But governance is a continuum.
Absolutely.
I see that. So the underlying argument here is that if we continue, the plans. That's why I keep raising this argument that the biggest bane on our development is the absence of a constitutionally backed development plan. Nkrumah had a 7-year development plan. It's gathering dust somewhere. We've had several development plans after that. Vision 2020, 40-year development plan, what have you. But they are not backed by law.
You know, Nana, I am a student of policy. And I've seen that the National Development Planning Commission has a very strong role in playing with our developmental agenda. they have all the blueprints from the 1800s. I have had an opportunity to read through some of the blueprints. And every government that is minded, because the NDPC is an office under the office of the president.
True.
Okay, so every government that is minded in terms of their own agenda will look at Ghana's blueprint and implement that within the period that the Ghanaian people have given an opportunity. And I'm aware that every government in this Fourth Republic have heavily relied on technocrats from the NDPC to be able to drive a particular developmental agenda. Because it is the NDPC that has the blueprint to be able to state that we have these level of minerals in this part of Ghana, and these are the level of developments that you must bring, which is why the government of President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo sought to build a railway. Of course, I mean, a sizable part of that was done. It will be good for the government of John Dramani Mahama to continue that, because the blueprint of Ghana does state that should the government of President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo had finished the Nkrumah inland port, okay, that would serve the hinterland where other neighboring countries can be able to pick up goods from there into their landlocked countries. Okay, we couldn't finish the Nkrumah inland port. The first phase, I'm aware, was sizably done and completed. Okay, so this government, of course, like you say, that government is a continuum. It will be good for this government to look at the bigger picture of Ghana and see which part of the bigger picture of Ghana they can contribute to bring significant growth. Why has the government of the day cancelled one district, one factory? If we are looking at industrialization, what are they bringing in to replace that? Because there's a vacuum that is created. And if that vacuum is created, then you cannot comfortably say that government is a continuum. When a particular government is driving an industrialization agenda, one government comes and folds it together like a box and says, put it aside.
That's what the problem is, because that policy is not backed by any law.
You see, it's
not binding.
I can agree and I can understand. But you see, the NDPC is backed by law. It's an office under the presidency. The NDPC must advise the sitting government that some policies go beyond political colorization. It's become a civic responsibility, like the free senior high school, like Agenda 111. When you are sick and you go to a hospital, it's not an MPP, NDC doctor or nurse or surgeon that is going to take care of you. You go there because it's become a civic responsibility. These STEM schools that the government of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo put together is a civic responsibility. So there are certain policies that move beyond a political party agenda and policy to a civic responsibility. Every government that seeks the interest of the Ghanaian people must be able to rise above that and sit in cabinet and state that, yes, of course, this benefits the interest of the Ghanaian people. And so let's continue that. You can decide to rename it, okay, so that you don't want it to give credit to the previous government, but you can rename it. But why do you throw away a very strong drive of industrializing the Ghanaian economy and fold it away? We are not too sure what they are using to replace it.
24-hour economy?
24-hour, oh, my brother, please.
To allow existing factories, industries operate round the clock, 24/7?
Did you hear the amount of money they told you to cost to implement the 24-hour economy? When the government is under an IMF program? I mean, really, you see, we really need to wake up in this country and make sure that our development is progressive and not retrogressive. It's extremely important. If not, we all get scared in this country.
Very well.
And I'll just conclude with this. You see the level at which illegal mining is ongoing. It's gradually becoming a national security threat. Yesterday I saw...
Is it not already?
Oh, well, it is. I mean,
it is.
It is, but...
Central region doesn't have water now.
Exactly. So you see the level of debt. That is it. It must be one of the areas that the government is focusing on. Every government that comes must be able to hit their hand on their chest and comfortably say that I have solved this problem in Ghana. I may not be able to solve all the 8 problems in Ghana, but I've solved 2. And I want the Ghanaian people to remember me for. That is why we are discussing Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. We are discussing him because there are some things that he built as foundations, for which reason we celebrate him.
Exactly.
That's what it is. So he solved that problem for us. We must be able to solve other problems. People come into leadership to solve problems, not to create problems. As we see it now, there are certain problems that is being created that we don't see the boldness of leadership from the government. We don't see the decision making of leadership from the government. We don't see the accountability of leadership from the government to be able to solve those issues. And it's extremely getting out of hand.
Very well. Delali, your take on the vision and governance being a continuum.
You know, when I listened to Doc, for a moment, I was like, how long have the MPP been in opposition? Posture. I mean, one of the things I like about President Mahama is the fact that he has retreated countless without numbers. That he's going to be the president that will continue whatever project that was started during the previous regime. And he has actually so far demonstrated it. I mean, relative to one district, one factory, I mean, Doug is aware that there was not a clear-cut policy relative to establishing what do you call it, an industrial factory from the scratch. It was basically partnership with other existing organizations, which even, I remember during President Mahama time before the 2016 election, he injected amount of about $52 million when it comes to the Tobinco and so. That is exactly what the MPP were doing. But I like the fact that Doug admitted that you can even rename it, because that was their stocking trade, renaming and what have you. But definitely, President Mahama is not interested in this renaming spree. I mean, he basically wants to start things from scratch. He basically wants to partner with the private sector to undertake a lot of industrialization. And when it comes
starting from scratch is most often
what I'm saying that President Mahama would definitely the other project President Mahama would definitely have to start from the scratch. That was captured in the NDC manifesto. There are projects that were started by President Nana Addo Dankwa. The ones that are unfinished, President Mahama have retreated that he's going to complete it because this is people of Ghana. That is our money. But you see, once again, I mean, nobody is trying to make what do you call Sergeant for Dr. Kwame Nkrumah look like he's the sole person that contributed when it comes to the attainment of independence. I think that argument has been settled. I don't want to revisit it again. It has been settled relative to who is the founder of this country. But I heard Doc, talk about the fact that this issue about galamsey and what have you not. You remember I said something. I mean, one of the problem I had with the NPP when they were in power was the fact that even after 8 years, anytime you confront them with a fact, they are quick to make reference to what the NDC did in 2009 to 2016.
The politics of comparison.
Exactly. And I told them that at that point, at a point they became more or less like a useless government because they had been in power for 8 years and they were still making reference to what has transpired in the past. And I vowed that not to engage in politics where you want to do the comparison. I believe one of the reasons why Ghanaians gave the NDC overwhelming, emphatic victory in 7 December 2024 was basically when we promised them that we are going to reset. And exactly, that's exactly what we are doing. But even that notwithstanding, I think the NPP must be measured and must admit that whatever we are seeing is a remnant of what they will bequeath to us. I mean, I have said that, President Mahama have said that any of his appointee, whether remotely or directly, involved in any form of mining activity, will be shown the exits. That's what President Mahama have said. He said, anybody, any of his appointee who is involved, whether legal mining and what have you, will be shown the exits. That's what President Mahama have said. You have an instances recently, 2 prominent personalities within the NDC. I mean, I'm talking about individuals occupying sensitive positions within the NDC. We're referred to Yoko, is that not it?
National executives.
Exactly, of the party. So this is the president that is demonstrating to you, and this is not the first time President Mahama is doing this. During his first term, President Mahama made sure some of his appointees were prosecuted. You see, President Mahama at a point in time when one of his appointees made an intention, unintentional, became a subject of a dismissal. So this is not a president who is here to, excuse me to say, sweep things under the carpet. This is not a president who will develop the pension and say, I'm clearing you. No.
He's not a clearing agent.
Absolutely not. And you see, there are instances I've seen even members of the NDC, right, lamenting about the fact that how come their national executives were being hauled before Iroko to be a subject of an investigation. But President Mahama, it doesn't matter who asks God. Because you see, we have made promise to the good people of this country. And I have said that we are not there yet. I mean, certainly, looking at some of